So yeah, I'm doing a review because I love this game and I wanted to talk about it. I want to talk about Blasphemous 2. It is a Metroidvania developed by the Game Kitchen. They were an indie developer. They made Blasphemous 1 based off I think they did a Kickstarter. It was a team of a couple of guys that were wanting to make games, and they decided they wanted to go all out and make this game, kind of like a Metroidvania slash Dark Souls type of joint. And they did it, and it was really incredible. And I truly enjoyed the first game, and I think the first game is it's a standout game. In 2023, in the world of AAA games and 3D stuff, and your Elden Rings and your Horizons and your games like that, you have this little 2D Metroidvania platformer type game, and it really stands the test of time, and I really think it's one of the best platformers out there. So they came out with Blasphemous 2. The first game is about this character. The main character is the silent protagonist called the Penitent One, and he's out to try and defeat and kill this Bishop Escobar. During this whole adventure, you realize that there's this omnipresent deity called the Miracle that literally runs Custodia and does all these miracle slash terrible things to people because they're praying for miracles. But the miracle is I wouldn't say it's immature. I'll put it like that. It doesn't know what it's doing, but it's doing all these crazy terrible things to people, thinking that and then the people of Custodia see that as miracles. So a lot of the people pray for things like guilt and to feel the guilt, and first the sins and confession stuff. But anyway, in my opinion, it feels more like a Dark Souls, a 2D Dark Souls game than anything. There's the platformer, there's the Castlevania type of vibe, the Metroid type of vibe to it. But I really like this game just because I'm a big FromSoft fan. But so Blasphemous 2 comes out, and they improve a lot on a lot of things. Instead of having one weapon, Mia Coppola, you have 3 weapons. You have your standard speed, your standard basic weapon. You got mobility and good speed. I forget the names of them, I'm super sorry. And you got your heavy one, and then you got your light one with quick hits. The platforming is really great. Of course, the visuals are stellar. The story, the only thing that I have a gripe with is the story, in my opinion, seems a little bit like it was kind of rushed, because the story of the first one, even though you have to go and search and look at stuff and find the lore to get the complete story of the things, it was really cool. Everything connected to each other. All the characters had their own stories, and they were very deep and connected to the miracle, and connected to everything that you're supposed to be working on, achieving in the game. Some of the stories were some of the bosses were their stories, the penitents, the penitent Ginyu force that you have to defeat. They were cool, but the only person that I really cared about was the father. Invernito, I think that's his name. The first penitent. I was like, yo, that nigga's cold. He's a cold dude. Oh, shoot. Wait a minute. Who is this man? All the other guys, I really didn't care for, to be honest with you. I mean, they were cool. They were really cool, but like, and that's another thing that I want to get to. I'm a little all over the place because I like freestyle and stuff. I don't really write scripts or anything, so you have to bear with me. But so the boss fights were very easy. They were easy for me. I have this game on PC, right? I have the game on PC, and I like, I'm on Reddit. I'm on the Blasphemous Reddit, and I seen that the PlayStation version, I guess on launch, the bosses were extremely easy. But I had the game on PC, and they did the patch before the PlayStation patch. So I played the game. I got it on launch, but I didn't have too much free time. So that's why this review's so late, but I didn't have much time. So I started playing it really heavy like last week. So I seen the patch. So like I'm playing the current patch. You know what I mean? So the bosses up until Odon, the bosses up until Odon were really easy. They were really easy. Up until Odon, like he turned into for me, when I played him, I'm like, this is a Dark Souls character. This nigga's nuts. This is a Dark Souls character. This is a Dark Souls boss. This is a real Dark Souls boss. This is a Dark Souls boss. This man does not stop attacking. He literally reminds me of who's the first boss that you fight on Dark Souls 3? The champion Gwendir, something like that. I can't remember. But he's the dude that when you pick up the coiled sword out of his chest and then you fight him, and he has like one of those abyss monsters on his arm. He reminds me of that guy. But dude he was a Dark Souls character. He was a Dark Souls boss. He didn't get hard up until then. And then you had the one chick with the when you're at the water level, where you got like where the contraptions like in reverse, when you gotta like touch the fountain. She was hard. Odon was hard. And then after that, the bosses were okay. But in Veronito, the first penitent, I was like, bro. But the cool thing about it was like all the bosses were enjoyable. I enjoyed all the bosses. It's just that the challenge was, and plus I was doing the bare minimum. So some of the bosses I was stuck there for a little bit, but like I wasn't doing no power ups or nothing like that. Yeah, the bosses were all right. Invernito was my favorite because he was just an extremely cool boss fight. Especially with the homie Chrysanta, bro. I was so sad, man. That was one of my favorite characters of the first game. I thought we was about to go hand with her. I thought we was gonna be able to play her. I thought she was like the first thing you see in the opening cutscene of the game. Room temperature, man. I was salty. And then just to see her just chilling there in the boss fight, I was sad. But the last boss was for some reason not as hard. Dudes just got a lot going on. Basically just testing everything that you've acquired and your abilities that you've learned. The abilities were really cool. The altar pieces, I think that's what they're called, with the statues, that mechanic was really cool. Like I said, the weapons were really cool. Like all the upgrades this game had was really awesome, and it made the game a lot more fun. I'm really into like strategies and stuff and equipment. Like I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, so like, Final Fantasy 9 is like my favorite game. So that like system where you had to like have the little gems and the abilities and stuff. So like the altar pieces were really awesome to do. Like everything you did, like the game had everything that you needed for every situation. Like the altar pieces like were for weapons and for passive abilities, and then you had your beads, your rosary beads, that were for like more defensive aspects and items and stuff like that. And then you had your weapons and the weapon abilities. And this time around, I guess you could say it's the same thing, but this time around, like, you leveled up. You find the little statues around the game where you level up your weapons from level 1 to level 3, and then like you get you strengthen your weapons through obtaining abilities with the martyrdom joints, and that was really cool to me. Overall, I think I enjoyed Blasphemous 2 better than Blasphemous 1. The music is godlike as always. Carlos Viola, uh, the dude who made the music for the games, bro's a genius. I think, what is it called? The Towers of the Seven Roses, something like that. The when you're up at not the elevated, I think you're, I can't remember. He did an amazing job. He did an amazing job with the music. Everything fit everything. It was amazing. Good stuff. The music is always good in this game. The only thing that I wish they could have did was give more backstory on the lore. They should have kept Cassandra alive. That's just me. It seemed really sudden, in my opinion. I think it seemed really sudden. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe they're going to put out some DLC to make more of the lore, but it was really the lore of it is basically the miracle has been like extinct for a very long time, and then there was a family that couldn't have children, and they prayed, and their prayers like kind of sort of resurrected the miracle, and the miracle answered their prayers, and actually doing what the miracle does, they birthed a child, but the child was like already already like grown up or whatnot, and he was called the Witness. And so because of that, the miracle had returned, which means the penitent one returns, because everything that the miracle touches comes back, I guess. But to guard the big ass heart, the born baby of the High Wills, I guess, I don't know which one it is, the High Wills or the miracle, got the penitent dudes. And then Chrysantha, which is another question that I want to know. How long has it been, and how long do these people live? Because apparently in the game, 1,000 years passed between the first game and the second game. So like, do these characters just like stay alive? Like, what is it, the High Wills or the miracle or whatever type of thing that keeps them alive? Deogracius died, which was trash. So I think it's kind of weird. But I think it was a little bit more linear. The lore was a little bit more linear than the first game, which I wish they would have done more with. I wish they would have, like I said, kept Chrysantha alive, because that was my homie. I wish we could have used her sword instead of suffering watching some old dude use her sword. That was kind of trash, but it is what it is. But like I said, overall, I really enjoyed the first game. I don't see anything wrong with the cutscenes. I think the animation is beautiful. I am a big, I'm a big buff when it comes to animation, and the animation was very stellar. I understand the aesthetic and the atmosphere that people were talking about when it came to the cutscenes in the first game. When it comes to the pixel art, I get it. It was more dark. It was more gritty. It was more connecting to the game. But I like this upgrade. In my opinion, it gives more opportunity for them to express themselves, because pixel art is very difficult. I used to do pixel art back in the day. That junk is very difficult, especially to animate. So doing the cutscenes, it's probably a little bit more easier. They might have a bigger budget, but it's a lot easier to do. It's easier for expression, for artistic ability to show everybody. Like for example, at the first game, when at the true ending, when Chrysantha and the penitent one had to fight the High Wills, that was a really cool cutscene, but it also looked like it's pixel art, so it looks kind of like choppy sometimes. The animation in the cutscenes in this game were smooth as butter. I don't know how they got that shit to be that smooth, but they got, man, it was smoother than Disney movies. Disney movies, the older Disney movies were like 30 frames per second to intimidate real life movement, right? A lot of anime people see is like 12 frames per second. So it's like kind of choppy sometimes. But this animation that they did in this game is butter. I don't know how many frames they did it, but it looks beautiful. So I'm cool with it. I loved it. But yeah, man, this game is awesome. Everybody should give it a try. If you're a Dark Souls fan, you should give it a try. I honestly think, and I will stand on this hill, I honestly think if they make a third Blasphemous, and if it's anything as good as the second and the first game, I think it is on par with the Dark Souls series. That's just me. I think that game is just as good. I'm not going to say if not better, because I don't want to get people yelling at me, but I think it's just as good as Dark Souls games. Like the lore, the characters, like the whole thing with like the omnipresent miracle and high wills and stuff like that. I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. It's a great game. Like I said, they could make the bosses. I think the patch. I think they're going to do more patches. I think they're going to do more with the game. Because there was like, I think they did 3 DLCs with the first game, or was it 2? They did the Wounds of Eventide, which showed the true ending, and then the one with the 5 sisters. I can't remember. I can't remember half of the stuff, but it was a fantastic game. It's fantastic. I hope they make more. I hope Game Kitchen makes a lot of money. So because I seen the documentary of the first, how they made the first game, bro, crazy. Like they were running out, they were going out of budget. They had to get more loans just to make the game, and I'm so happy it paid off for them. And I really hope people support Game Kitchen. I hope people buy Blasphemous and Blasphemous 2. I hope they make a lot of money so they can make way more games, because Blasphemous is a wonderful game. It's a standout game. I don't think there's going to be any more Castlevania 2D platform games like it. The lore is amazing. The characters are amazing. Like the artwork is beautiful. The Spanish lore, I think it's so, I'm extremely fascinated with it. Like I said, you think like some FromSoft stuff is cool, some Elden Ring lore, like all that other stuff. Check out Blasphemous, because the lore based off like this, like the Spanish traditions and stuff like that, is the characters and the folklore that they have, in the way that Blasphemous and the developers interpret it in the world of Blasphemous is fantastic in my opinion. So I think everybody that might be into a platform, some cats, because I recommended it to my one friend and he was like, this is dark as hell. I'm like, yeah bro, it's freaking sweet. But it may be a little bit dark, but it's a really awesome game. I think it's really cool. So if anybody is into it, if anybody's thinking about trying to play it, go ahead and play it, because it's a beautiful game. Beautiful game. But anyway, that's my time. I'm trying to get back into doing more videos. I'm trying to put out videos every day. I know I've said that every certain one time or another, but this time I'm like really serious. I'm just going to be putting out videos of anything, for real, just to have content out, because I'm a content cat, so I need to do that. But yeah, it's your boy Von Doom. Like, subscribe. You see my handles on the bottom. Check me out. Follow me. I'm funny sometimes, and I got dope streams. So hit me up. Peace out.